800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning, my fellow Americans and all you wonderful liberty lovers all across the globe, as well as you great ecclesiastites. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live again this morning from my bunkerized studio somewhere in the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yes, I did check again today, and it is still live free or die. The call-in number this Wednesday, hump day, I do believe, is March the 16th in the year of our Lord 2016. The call-in number is 603-835-3224. That's 603-835-3224. We are expecting this half hour to receive a call and speak to the wonderful ladies of Diamond and Silk from the Trump campaign. Well, I guess they're really not part of the Trump campaign, but they're in love with Donald Trump, as evidently are millions of other Americans. As Trump marches on, he finally KOs Marco Rubio. I guess we've officially heard that Rubio is suspending. I love when they say they suspend. We're suspending the campaign. No, you're quitting. You're done. You're dropping out. You're not suspending. Well, I know they say they're suspending because, hey, words matter. Because if they just say that they're quitting and dropping out, then that would mean that people would expect that their delegates that they've already gotten would be available. And if they're just suspending the campaign, but they're still running, basically is what they're trying to say, then they still control the delegates. Now, Kasich is the winner in Ohio, expected. Not a big shocker, surprise there. He won pretty easily in Ohio. Not a surprise there. Ohio is just full of a bunch of, I'm not going to call them idiots, but like, people in Ohio are happy with the job that Kasich is doing in Ohio. He's very well liked in Ohio. So, it's kind of natural that you would want, I don't know, your local politics to go more national. I am not going to disparage people in Ohio who happen to like Kasich because they believe that Kasich, for them in Ohio, he's doing a very good job. That's great. Keep it in Ohio. I've always said that. This whole notion that it's everybody else's politician that's the problem, not their own, is a bunch of BS because everybody else is thinking that it's your politician is the problem while you're thinking it's their politician. So, yes, all politics is local. But there comes a time when you have to understand that local is not the same as national. And what I mean by that is that the national constitution, the federal constitution, is something that is totally and completely, that can be a little bit different from your state constitution. Now, there are things that you can do on the state level that constitutionally you're not allowed to do on the federal level. So you're going to have to keep that local. And if you're expecting them to take everything that they've done on a state level and bring it to the national level, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're just plain absolute wrong. I don't care who you are. That's not the way it was intended. That's not the way the law works. And by the way, the Constitution is the law of the land. I love these people that talk about, well, we're going to preserve the law and protect the law and all. You know what? No. The Constitution is the supreme law. That's what you follow first. If there are any other, the Constitution supersedes all the other laws. If you get a law that's in direct competition or violation of the Constitution, then that law is null and void. And it doesn't take a Supreme Court justice to tell us that. I love these, these wonderful law enforcement people who think that they can make up the laws all their own. No. That's not, you're not Judge Dredd. You are not the law. I love that. I am the law. No, we still have a constitution and it's still the major law of the land. Not, thank God. It's not a nation of men. It's a nation of laws, and the laws trump the men and the women. Thankfully so. Because otherwise, hey, we'd be in greater trouble than we already are. Can you imagine, remember back in you don't remember because we weren't around, but all those old-fashioned, well, not old-fashioned, but ancient times when, it used to be a time I know in England and in other places with monarchies, and, emperors and things like that, from the Far East. It used to be a time when every time there was a new monarch, the size of or measurements would change. Based on the size of, For England, for example, I do know that, I don't know when they stopped doing it, but it used to be that the size of measure, the foot, literally got its name from foot, because they would, whatever a foot was the size of the king's foot of the time. And they had to equally divide up among the king's foot size. So every time you get a new king, you got a new foot. Well, and a lot of times that's what happened to some laws and traditions. Every time you got a new monarch, you got new laws. You would think that you think that the father would keep what the son would keep what the father had, but that didn't always happen. Monarchies are, it's based on luck of the birth. And sometimes you got sometimes you got a good one, and sometimes you got a bad one. It's no different from elected officials. Sometimes you elect a good one, and sometimes you elect a bad one. The difference is that when you elect them, you can also fire them. In order to get rid of a bad monarch, you either have to kill them or overthrow them. And that's the same, monarch, dictator, you might as well say, they're synonymous. They're not the same, but they're synonymous, because they're absolute rule, basically. And thankfully, we don't have that sort of thing here in this country. And we haven't since we broke free from the clutches of the King of England. The King of Great Britain. Let us go to the phones here. Do we have Mrs. Diamond and Mrs. Silk on the line here?
Yes, Diamond and Silk.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Wonderful. We're doing wonderful.
Well, Donald pulled out a big win last night. The only thing he didn't win was Ohio, but he even won the Marianas.
Yes, he did a phenomenal job, and we are so happy. He is on his way to winning the nomination, and we're just excited about it.
Exactly.
Now, he didn't win Ohio, so Kasich obviously took Ohio, and everybody was pretty much expecting that. I don't even think Donald really thought that he was going to take Ohio from Kasich at this late point in time. However, now everybody's talking about there being chaos in Cleveland for the Republican convention. Now, does Donald have a plan to fix this possible contested convention type of nonsense that they're talking about?
Well, he's telling everybody to go ahead, come on, let's unite. Mm-hmm. We don't need to be bickering at a convention. But I tell you this much. If they try to take this nomination from him and he's leading, he's played this fair and square, he's honored his pledge, then I tell you what, the Republican Party is going to be just about obsolete, and they're going to lose an election. Not this time, but the next time and the next time. Right. It'll be the Republican Party cannot be trusted. Because what they're doing, if they take it from him, they stole it from him. That's what they did.
Yes, and you stole it from the American people.
Because this election is going to be decided by we the people, not by a few elites in the GOP.
That's right.
Now Donald is probably going to start turning his attention to the Democratic presumptive nominee Hillary, because she's already saying that it's time to start attacking Donald, and we have some of the political professionals out there saying that Hillary better not be wanting this too soon. Now, I know there's this whole thing about being a gentleman, but do you think because it seems like we haven't had Republicans that have wanted to go after Democrats. I mean, Romney didn't go after Obama when he should have and could have. Do you think Donald's going to fall into that same category of kind of sort of wimping out, or do you think he's just going to eviscerate her?
Listen, I think Donald is going to be Donald. Mm-hmm. If Hillary hit at him, Donald is going to hit back at her, and Diamond and Silk is going to hit back at her, too.
That's right.
That's how that's going to be. Yeah. Ain't nobody scared of Hillary.
That's right. And Donald Trump is not paid. He's not a puppet. He don't have logic. He ain't got to do what others tell him to do.
Absolutely.
He's his own man.
That's right. That's right. And if Hillary can't take the heat, she needs to get out of the kitchen.
Now, you guys started this dump and switch campaign?
It's ditch and switch now.
Ditch and switch now, yeah. Well, evidently that is working, because there is, we've had some 20,000 Democrats dump the Democrat Party and go independent and Republican in order to vote in the Republican primary in Massachusetts. What was it? Something 50,000 in Pennsylvania, and thousands more all over the place where we've already had primaries and caucuses. Do you think that your Ditch and Switch Now campaign is really helping to get people, including Democrats, to understand the real problems in going for a different candidate?
I think so. We started it back in September, and we pushed that platform through social media, and then it just kept spreading and spreading. So I do think so. I think people are ditching that Democratic Party. Listen, people are mad on both sides of the aisle, and the only person they see that can bring this country back to greatness is Donald Trump, the businessman. Yeah. And so people are coming off that Democratic plantation, switching their party to Republican so that they can vote solely for Donald Trump, and we are excited about it.
Yes, and go to ditchandswitchnow.com to switch your parties from Democrats and Independents to Republicans, just to vote for Donald Trump.
Absolutely. And see, some of these states that's coming up is going to be closed states. Yes. So you have to be a Republican to vote for Donald Trump in some of these states. That's right. That's why you still need to ditch and switch now.
That's right.
Now, the African American community is not ditching and switching as fast as you'd like, but there is some movement, and now there is some worry that the Democrats may not have the African American vote locked up come November. Do you think that is finally justified?
Well, listen, I think that African Americans are starting to wake up. They want opportunities. Yep. They want a hand up instead of a hand out. And so what you have to do is educate and retrain people. Yeah. We've been conditioned to vote for one way, but you have to realize that one way only handed you the cross.
That's right.
Now it's time to bring somebody in that knows how to give you the ingredients to make you a whole cake, and then you can sit down and have a slice of your own cake.
That's right.
So it's just about a matter of teaching people and showing people that we can do better, and we can do better under a system that wants to give us a hand up instead of a handout.
And just because you're black does not mean you have to vote Democrat.
Absolutely. You can vote Republican. You can vote for whoever you want to. Listen, we're voting for Donald Trump. He just so happened to be a Republican. We know in order to vote for him in our state, we had to switch our party to Republican to do so. And so, bam, that's why we're on the bandwagon.
That's right.
Now, any speculation from you two about who he might choose for a running mate?
All I can say is it needs to be someone that balances him, not a backstabber, not a liar, or not anyone that sweats.
Well, that's we're talking politics. That's almost an impossibility, ladies. Anybody? Well, I guess I don't know. Maybe it could be Dr. Carson. We've got Glenn Beck out there really hammering Carson for endorsing Trump.
Well, listen, it takes a team to build a dream. And when I look at Donald Trump and Dr. Ben Carson, I see the dream team.
That's right.
So it's totally up to Donald Trump. He's his own man. He can make his own decisions. Right now, we have to win the nomination, and then he can start building his cabinet from there.
That's right.
Well, that sounds good. So where does Donald go from here? Who's next?
Well, we go ahead on and win whatever's left on the board, so that we can go ahead and go to the convention and they go ahead and give him this nomination.
That's right.
Now, what about all this nonsense about Donald being the instigator? In fact, he had a sheriff in Florida that said he won't pursue charges now, which I thought was really stupid that he even considered it, of these people coming into Donald Trump rallies and being tossed out, and then everybody's blaming Trump for this.
Well, I don't think Trump is not to blame for this.
That's right.
These protesters that comes in and be disruptive, they need to be arrested for inciting riots, inciting violence. Anyone that tells people to go in and talk Donald Trump supporters, they need to be arrested.
That's right.
Now we know we was at the one in Fayetteville, something happened here where we call them cowboys, sucker punch someone.
Yeah.
We do not believe in violence. He was arrested, but you got to be cautious because a lot of older people at these rallies, they don't like all of this foolishness.
That's right.
And maybe cowboys thought he was back in the Civil War, and that's why he got up and sucker punched somebody. But we don't believe in violence. They arrested Cowboy, so he has to handle that on his side. But the deal is, do not blame Donald Trump. His rallies are peaceful. It's the people that come in and be disruptive that causes the chaos.
He paid for that space.
That's right.
That's his free speech. Let him have his free speech in his house.
Absolutely.
And for the protesters that feel like they need a free speech, feel free to speak your speech out in the streets, not in Donald Trump's event.
That's right.
Well, ladies, I know you girls got to run, but and I want to thank you for taking the time out to join me here again. But you guys are still on fire for Trump, and I can see why, because he's moving ahead.
Yes, he is. 4 feet ahead, baby.
And he ain't waiting on nobody.
That's
He's
right.
being about his business so he can seal the deal.
That's right.
and looks like he's looking ahead to Cleveland. So that's it. That'll be interesting to. One last question. Do you watch the Netflix series House of Cards?
I do not watch that. I've heard about that show, but I don't watch it.
Okay, because what I'm seeing now, what I'm seeing on this TV series, this Netflix series House of Cards, is really kind of it's like somebody had a crystal ball and was looking ahead to this contest this time around, because there's a lot of similarities and a lot of stuff going on in that program, which was filmed almost a year ago, versus what's actually happening in real life. So I got to wonder if the Donald actually watches that. I know he doesn't watch a lot of TV, but I just wonder if he watches that too. But
wow.
I know that there's a lot of people also looking forward to possibly having Melania as the first lady. And I got to tell you, she's a beautiful woman with a lot of class and
very humble. Yes. We want her as the first lady. We love Melania. We want her as the first lady. We're going to have a beautiful first lady. She's going to tell us how to be beautiful, how to look beautiful, and how to stay in shape.
That's right.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I know you got to run. I hope we get to have a talk before Donald is before Cleveland again.
Okay.
Thank
you for having us.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Diamond and Silk, the wonderful ditchandswitchnow.com ladies. They're always so much fun. So much fun. But you know what? They pretty much they tell it like it is, and they make sure that everybody else understands. Now, I didn't have a lot of time to go into the whole details with all of these attacks on Donald Trump at his rallies. It's one thing to politics is politics. So you understand you're going to take some slings, some arrows, some verbal bullets, verbal nuclear bombs. You take all that stuff. That's politics. That's the life of politics. That's what you got to expect when you're in politics and when you want to go for and be elected for a political office. Everybody expects that. And anybody who doesn't, I wouldn't even say they're naive. They're just stupid and don't deserve the position. But to actually go into, like she said, hey, Donald paid for that. Like Silk said, Donald that's Donald's house now. You can't go into you cannot go into another man's house and disrupt him in his own house. Sorry. You don't have that right to do that. I love these people that talk about, it's my free speech and my rights and my free. No. See, people purposefully misinterpret the Constitution in what your rights are. Your rights do not trump my rights. And no pun intended there. Your rights do not trump my rights. My rights do not trump your rights. Just because you have the right to freedom of expression and freedom of speech doesn't mean you get to shut me up so you can have yours. That's not the way it works. And I'm getting sick and tired of people saying stuff similar to that. You cannot regulate. There is no such thing as regulating free speech, because if you regulate it, then it's not free speech. Hello? That's just a simple oxymoron. You don't get to regulate anything if it's called a right. Now, let me be so bold as to say, I know that there are people that talk about other things as being rights too. Like medical care. Let me tell you something. If it is a right, if it is a natural born right, then government has no business regulating it. That goes for health care, too. Now, I'm sorry. If the government's got to regulate it, then it's not a right. So there can be no regulation of speech. But at the same time, you have to understand you do not have the right to step on somebody else's rights. So you got that? Do you understand it? So all you leftists, you wonderful millennials out there who think that you can shut other people up, no, they have as much right to speak as you do. It does not matter if you agree with them or not. I don't care if your damn feelings get hurt. Too damn bad. Grow up, grow a pair, and understand that this whole world isn't wrapped and centered around you. You don't get to have a safe space from somebody else. And if you have a safe space, and did you pay for it is one thing. Okay. You get to have a safe space, and Donald Trump paid for his safe space. Ted Cruz pays for his safe space. So you don't get to go in their safe space. If they're not allowed to go into your safe space, you don't get to go into their safe space. Plain and simple. And I don't want to hear, well, we got to stop Donald Trump from doing this and doing that. I don't want to hear that. No, you know what? You want to stop Donald Trump. You want to stop Ted Cruz. You want to stop anybody. You go find a candidate you can get behind and you support them, and you tell us why we should be supporting the candidate of your choice. You don't have the right to go into another man's house and then tell him he's got to shut up because you don't like what he says because he's hurting your freaking feelings. Too damn bad. Grow up and grow a pair. You don't get to do that. Plain and simple. I don't know what this whole notion or mess is that all of a sudden that people are going to have well, my feelings are hurt, so you can't talk that kind of talk. No, you know what? If you come to me with that mess, I'm going to hammer you even more with it. I'm going to pound the living you know what out of you until you either toughen up or agree with me. And if you've got something different to say, then you better convince me of why your way is right and my way is not. Because otherwise you come at me with well, this is my safe space. Well, I'm going to obliterate your safe space. If you didn't pay for it, you don't have it. Plain and simple. And before I get off into a tangent here, man, I better take a break. We'll be right back, folks.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show. 603-835-3224. Welcome back. It is I, your lovable host, returning to you a little bit calmer, a little bit, well, I'm always cool. Doesn't mean that, just because you're cool doesn't mean you're always calm. Sometimes, even Jesus wasn't always calm, but Jesus was always cool. Jesus had righteous indignation, righteous anger, and I think sometimes I may have the same thing. Not on his level, obviously, because nobody's on the level of Christ, but except for God himself. But, we can emulate, and I try to emulate Christ in everything I do. So if I get upset, I got to make sure that I have righteous indignation, that it's a righteous anger. And let me tell you, you people out there who keep doing this kind of stupid stuff, you know what really frosts me is that people just don't stop and think. It's called just being logical. I'm not saying that being logical is always going to give you an answer, but I tell you what, if it doesn't give you the direct answer, it'll lead you in the right direction to finding the right answer. That's for sure. Not because this touchy-feely stuff. Oh, I just feel like I don't care what you're feeling. People don't accuse me of being touchy-feely. That's for sure. Don't come to me and tell me I hurt your feelings, man, because that's like asking for more trouble. I'm just saying, folks, just saying. I'm not mean or cruel or uncaring or heartless. Well, some people think I'm heartless and cold, but I just think I'm realistic. And what we got going on now, especially with these college millennials and they needing safe space, and they don't like speech that hurts. I mean, they cry when somebody tells them that they don't support the candidate that they support. I mean, really? Come on. I don't. By the way, hey, this might upset some of you millennials. Paul Ryan is hinting at a White House run, and let me tell you something. This little joker from Wisconsin now, I don't... Yeah, you know what? I'll take a call first, and I'll get into Paul Ryan. 678, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. What you got?
Hey, buddy. This is Doug in Atlanta. I'm Trump Picks.
Good morning.
Hey, buddy. I am just so pissed off. You were talking about monarchies and such earlier. And I swear to God, I don't know what I've been voting for the past 35 years.
Well, I think we're all in kind of the same boat. We were voting for whatever they decided to give us, not what we really wanted.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and everybody's talking about broker convention or whatever, some other type of convention. That yo-yo Kasich staying in the race is only doing it to be a spoiler. He has no path to the nomination. And because, and I don't get this. I mean, I voted for Reagan in 1980. That was my first vote. I was 21 years old back then. And I just don't get this, how they can, I mean, all this stuff is being bandied about. Rule 40, Rule 1 through 40. Hell, they can change the rules of nominating process on the day of the convention. I mean, there's no laws about how this works except for the FEC. And, but they can change the rules as things go along, which is ridiculous. I just don't get this.
Well, you know, this is one of the things that many of the founders warned us against about parties, about having solid parties. Now, one of the misconceptions is that they think, you know, all the founders were totally against party affiliation. No, they were not. They were against the type of party system that we have today, and they warned us against this tight, coalesced party system where you either have to be a part of this party or this party in order to get anything done or be elected. That's not what they wanted. They believed in parties as far as commonality. You know, everybody comes to people who have the same thought process and the way government should work should be able to lose. Much like, you know, let me put it to you this way. If you read the founders' writings and their speeches, the type of party system they believed in is a type of party that we call the Tea Party, which is really not a party at all. That's what they believed in. They did not believe in what we got now in this two-party system of Democrats and Republicans, because that was what they were afraid of, is what you're talking about they have the ability to do, which is rig an election. That's not the whole point of this thing. It's not about the ruling class. We shouldn't have a ruling class. And when you get a ruling class, then they get to decide over you and me who's gonna run the government. And that's not the way it's supposed to be either. So if I'm sorry if people like Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton don't like the fact that the vast majority of American people seem to want Donald Trump. I'm sorry that upsets them, but too damn bad, because it's our government and that's who we want to represent us.
Yeah, and you know what? This election has actually just woken me up so much, because I always thought, it was like whoever wants to run can run, and whoever gets the majority of the stuff can win. And I hear so much of this, and this is not conspiracy either. I mean, well, it is. It is a conspiracy. This whole thing is a damn conspiracy against Donald Trump. And yesterday, this yak talk show host, formerly the head of RedState.com, Eric Erickson, announced that he is going to D.C. on Thursday, and he is going to do a meet and greet with a bunch of thugs to stop Donald Trump in the general election. How? He's going to do that by running a third-party candidate, supposedly Ted Cruz, to deny Hillary and Trump 270 votes, electoral votes, which, and as he explained it yesterday on the radio, which would actually throw the election into Congress and the Senate. And I was just so pissed. I was just, I'm like, are you serious, dude? I mean, if this is, it's like I would pull that, man,
It's the elite mentality. It's the ruling class mentality. It doesn't matter what you want. It's what they look, they know what's best for all of us, right? Isn't that what they always, well, they don't come out and say it, but isn't that what they always say? We know what's best for you. I mean, look, we see it in the laws. You know, the Obama health care law, the mandate. Well, we know what's best for you. Well, I don't want this kind of health insurance. Well, you know, you should have it because it's what's best for you, and we know what's best for you. This is the same mentality that's continuing, and you have these people who think that they're a part of the ruling class, that want to be a part of the ruling class, like Erickson here going from Red. I mean, this is ridiculous. Why would a man? Now, I've always respected RedState.com. But you got to ask, what's he thinking when he says something like that? That is not the same as a person who claims he's, you know, constitutional and for small government and for responsive government, and all of a sudden, and that's what Red State was supposedly all about when it was first started. And now all of a sudden he's talking about co-opting it, and taking it away from the American people. I don't get this. It's the whole mentality of this. You know what? We like big government type of thing. You know, big government isn't so bad. The only problem is that we're not, when you're speaking of Republicans, we're not the ones in charge of it. So if we're going to have big government, we should be in charge of it, not the Democrats. Well, it's like having a two-headed coin. No matter how many times you flip it, it's still going to turn up heads, and you're still going to get, you know, blown.
Oh, that was perfect. That's great, man. Yeah, I tell you what, and I used to read Red State occasionally until Trump got in the race, and then they started trashing Trump every single day. Every day is a new article about Trump sucks, and I'm so tired of that crap. And even if you go on there and you try to comment in a positive way, I mean, this guy, Leon Wolf or Neil Stevens or whoever it is that's running the comments on that section will get you banned for anything that disagrees with them. And I just, you know, I am Red State. That's me. That's not these pigs that think they're going to control the nomination process of this party. I swear I have such disdain for these people. It may be time for a third party. I mean, if they try to deny Trump the nomination, I'll tell you what, I will be so ready. And I was, man, and 2008, 2012, when we really just screwed the pooch with our nominations, it just, I'm a Tea Party guy, you know. I'm a real, not one of the hardcore I'm not a Ted Cruz Tea Party guy. I'm a Trump Tea Party guy. Even Trump himself said it months ago that in years past, the establishment treated the Tea Party like crap. And they got their head handed to them in the previous elections, and it was just like, wow, what did we do all this work for? And we got nothing for it. Well, we got two candidates. We got Rubio and Cruz, who literally they're just as much an establishment as everybody else with their connections, ties, money. It's all about the money. Follow the money. And but I don't know, man. I'm just so burnt out.
You know, I get it. You mentioned Cruz there, and that didn't used to be. You know, a year ago, it would not have been synonymous, Cruz and Insider and.
Hell, I would have voted for him. Yeah. I would have voted for him too.
But I'm telling you, I'm looking at all this stuff and getting all these reports coming in over the past few months, and it sounds like Cruz is a big insider as well. I mean, come on. Now he's getting insiders who are endorsing him. If anything, they're saying they're endorsing him just to try to stop Trump. I get that part, but it's just I don't look. All of this stinks to high heaven. It really does. I mean, if you're talking about whether it be on the Democrat side or the Republican side, I mean, you got the Democrats in turmoil over there because of what they're doing to Bernie Sanders. I mean, Hillary Clinton loses a primary, but she still gets as many or more delegates than the winner, who is Bernie Sanders. I understand that why they're upset over there. But you know what? We got the kind of the same thing going on the Republican side, and people are really upset about it. And you know, the Democrats are going to be able to get away with stealing the nomination from Bernie Sanders over there on the Democrat side, because the Democrats aren't going to do anything about it, because that's what they're used to. That's what they're expecting. But the Republicans, on the other hand, I think people are just fed up with it. And you're right. If they go in and they force this into a brokered convention and take it away from and don't give it to Donald Trump or Ted Cruz. Now, I think a lot of Trump people, if somehow Cruz ended up with the nomination, they wouldn't be so ticked off. They wouldn't be ready to walk out. Now, of course, you would get some, yes. But you wouldn't get the majority. They'd say, okay, Cruz is still an outsider. The Republicans are learning that, we're in charge of this, not them. But that's not going to happen either. They're going to pick somebody who isn't even currently in the race. If it comes down to that, it's not even going to be Kasich. And it's not going to be Rubio. I know Rubio's thinking, well, it's going to be me. It's going to be me. Well, Kasich is thinking, well, it's going to be me. It's going to be me. And Kasich was just on Hannity the other day making it sound like he thought that if it got to a brokered convention, they'd pick him. Like, are you kidding me? They're not going to pick you. They're going to pick somebody out of who's not even running right now. And I know a lot of people who are looking at Mitt Romney. But folks, I'm telling you, after I read this story about Paul Ryan, and I'm looking at how Paul Ryan ended up with the speakership. Oh, he didn't want the speakership either, did he?
No.
Yeah,
no,
right. That's exactly what he wanted. And he knew. You know what? You know what this all reminds me. And I hate bringing this up to TV stuff and TV shows. But right now, I've just finished watching House of Cards, and everything that Frank Underwood did was to obfuscate the fact that he wanted something. He made it seem like he didn't want to be nominated for vice president, but that's exactly what he wanted, and that's how he got it. He made it sound like he didn't want to run for election for president, and that's exactly what he wanted to do, and that's exactly how in the program he got the nomination. He makes it seem like he doesn't want any of this stuff. But just about everything that he says he doesn't want, that he really does want, he ends up getting. And I'm seeing this in Paul Ryan. I don't want the speakership. He gets the speakership. I'm not so sure. Maybe the White House someday. He wants to be president right then and there. He just told me he does. And if we go to a convention, a structured convention like this, like they're expecting, do not be surprised. I'm telling you right now, everybody who's listening to me, do not be surprised if Paul Ryan gets thrown up there to be the nominee. He says he doesn't want it. But I'm telling you he does.
Yeah, you may be right. By the way, Kevin Spacey is perfect for that role.
Yes, he is. I don't watch a lot of TV, and I don't get into a lot of different shows, but that is one show that definitely does get my attention.
Well, thanks, Rob. Thanks for letting me vent. Get Laura Stites on sometime so we can hear what she sounds like.
She's adverse to the microphone, I think. But yeah.
Oh man, really? She's not adverse to Twitter. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. I got to head to work and go see some people, and you have a great day, and thanks for your show, man. It's really great to have a wonderful alternative to the stuff I got to listen to here in Atlanta.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care, buddy. See ya.
I'm telling you right now, folks, don't doubt me on this on the Paul Ryan stuff. I know some people probably haven't. This is the first time you're hearing it, but I'm telling you, look at the facts. And some people are saying, "Whoa, well, it's not being insightful. Not at all. It's just all it is just paying attention." I don't know. I shouldn't probably say that. I should probably just make it sound all mystical and everything, like I'm this super insightful person, and everybody will just, they'll be all in awe. I got to be honest, I can't do that. I wish I could, but it would be kind of fun, I suppose. Yeah, look, that's what a lot of other people do. They try to be mysterious and when something goes their way, they try to be all awe-inspiring. See, we told you. And they're cryptic. I'm not cryptic. I just tell you exactly what it is. I'm just telling you right now, do not be surprised if Paul Ryan's name is bandied about seriously at the Republican convention if it goes to a contested convention. Don't be surprised if it does anyway. Even before it gets fully contested or what have you, or whatnot, as they say here in New England. Do they say whatnot everywhere else? You know, there are phrases of speech that always kind of bug me. I don't. There are certain phrases that I don't like. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say don't like. They just sort of kind of irks me. I don't know why they irk me, but when somebody's talking and they say whatnot, it's just like kind of. It's not like fingers in a chalkboard. This is hard to explain, I suppose. But by the way, the sound of fingers in a chalkboard. I'm one of those weird people where it doesn't bother me. I would have been the I have done it. I was a rotten kid. I would scrape my fingernails across the chalkboard and watch everybody else in the room cringe, and I'd be happy about it. I'd smile and laugh, giggle. There were times I was an evil child. I'll admit it. 850, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. What you got?
Well, Rob, you were having Diamond and Silk on today, and my wife has been watching them for quite a while, so we're just thrilled that they're, going along and being able to speak to America. It's wonderful. This is a great time, man. Here we are. Americans are banding together on social media, and the establishment just, they can't stand it. The first progressive to come into our political realm said that he endeavored to become a member of the governing class, and that was Theodore Roosevelt. And at that time, in the 1800s, there were so many forces that were lining up against the Constitution. You had a lot of communist thought coming in, and people thought that this was modern and new, and they found out psychologically that people always love new and change, and they think that they can do better than what was before them. And it hasn't worked out. And when Roosevelt did his Bull Moose Party, he took a lot of dishwater Republicans away, like Harold Ickes, the first Harold Ickes, who was he campaigned for a lot of Republicans before he latched on to FDR's administration, and he served as Secretary of the Interior for a very, very long time. I mean, the whole Roosevelt administration, he was Secretary of the Interior. They called him Honest Harold because he worked the public works thing, too. There were billions and billions of dollars, and they got their hands into it. And he was quite responsible for introducing segregation into government. His cafeterias were desegregated, so on and so forth. And when he had what was called the Black Kitchen Cabinet, and they sort of were advising him, and through that, you got Robert C. Weaver. He was the first black cabinet member in history. Of course, he was a Harvard grad, and he was totally indoctrinated. I think 1934, he got his degree from in economics, doctorate from Harvard University, and so he went on to become the first United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. And so they knew what they were doing. And all this misery that they foisted on us. If you go out to an Indian reservation and you watch when the trailer pulls up and they put the wooden steps up and they go up and get their food, and the drug problem and the alcohol problem, and they just compounded it with housing, urban development. And Weaver was in the middle of that. I think it was 1966 he was appointed. So these Democrats and Republicans who went over to this progressive theology. What else could you call it? I mean, they believe in it as if it's a religion. They want to replace the goodness of God with the goodness of man. And we know what man's heart is. You know, no one can rise to the level of God, and anyone that tries is just repeating the same rebellion that Satan tried to accomplish in heaven. And that didn't work. So really, when you take a look at this progressiveness, it's actually evil, and it seeks to enslave. And enslavement is not what America was founded on. We were founded on principles of freedom and liberty, and we were admonished by our founders to maintain our faith in God, because none of these freedoms and liberties could be maintained without a belief in God. And so all this stuff that comes from progressivism is a rebellion against God.
That is actually very astute, because that is absolutely correct. They replace progressivism replaces God with humanism. Well, I should say, it replaces the Judeo-Christian belief and ethic with humanism. That there is no super being out there known as God, the Almighty, Elohim, and all that kind of stuff. But there is government is the head of the church. The government is the church, and humanists are the priest. So this is what we do get on a daily basis is humanism. It's nothing more than humanism, and this has been going back. Not just in this country, but it's been going back for centuries. People have always rebelled against things like the Catholic Church and the even going back before Christianity, the Jewish synagogue and the Jewish fathers. There was always people saying that there was no God. It was all about humanism and humanist type of thought, and it gets into our government, and it brings me to a point. And actually, I'm going to tackle that right after the break. We're heading to a breakdown, so sorry to cut you off, but I do have to run and pay the bills a little bit. But we'll talk a little bit about that when we get back, folks. So stay tuned.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the Tax Doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
And welcome back, my fellow Americans and fellow liberty lovers all across the globe, and you wonderful ecclesiastites. Again, it is I, your lovable host, El Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized studio somewhere within the great grand state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. It is still Wednesday, Weddings Day. Isn't that where we get Wednesday from? Weddings Day? But it is not in days of old. It is days of modern, and it is March the 16th in the year of our Lord 2016, which means it's today. It's not yesterday. And yesterday means it's not March 16th in the year 1016. It is 2016. The call-in number this morning is 603-835-3224. Again, it's 603-835-3224. Don't get me wrong, as I've always said, there's nothing new under the sun. 1016 really isn't all that different from 2016, and 2016 isn't really all that different from 1016. And I know some people are thinking, what? We've got automobiles and airplanes and cell phones, Rod. They didn't have that back in 1016. No. You're right. I didn't say technology wasn't different. I said people aren't different. We're not different. There's nothing new. Nothing. Well, cell phones are different. That's new. Really? A lot of this stuff that we think is new technology, we learn if we actually go and look at this stuff that it's not all that new. I mean, this whole idea of wireless communication, that's all a cell phone is wireless communication. It's nothing new. It's just a different way of doing it. It's not new. We've always had some form of wireless. We've always looked for different ways of wireless communication. We've always had, certain Native American tribes had it in smoke signals, and other cultures had sounds that could travel a great distance. Whether the way they manipulated their voices and sounded like animals or something that nobody actually knew what the hell it was. There were many ways of wireless communication. Frankly, just talking to somebody face-to-face is a wireless form of communication. There's no wire there. But wireless communication is not a new idea. And people often wonder, well, how can you say there's nothing new under the sun with this? It's like computers. We know for a fact that there have been ancient kinds of computing type of devices all over the world. Computers are really not new. I love when people say that we have all this advanced technology. Well, advanced to whom? You do realize that in the year 1970, the technology that they had in 1970 was advanced technology. But do we think that 1970 technology was advanced by today's standards? No, we don't. Do you think somebody in the future, 100 years from now, in the year 2116, they're going to say, well, we've got advanced we've got advanced technology now. They're going to have technology that we can only, dream of at the moment. But are we really that advanced? It amazes me, the arrogance of mankind. We always go from one generation to the next thinking that we're better than the previous generation, that we've come up with all this new stuff. The problem is that there's nothing really new under the sun. Sure, we may have come up, modernize, what we call modernize, and come up with different technology to do the same thing that we've always thought about doing. Wireless technology has been around, and the thought of it has been around for probably almost as long as mankind has been communicating. We just improved it. That's all. But it's not new. And for people who think that cell phones are brand new, man, they've only been around for like 10 years. No, BS. Why don't you go and look at some of the old television shows and TV serials and movies from the 60s and 70s, and you'll see people with car phones. Remember that? I remember my mother used to watch a program called Cannon. I think it was a private detective. It's like 1974 or something, early 70s. The guy had a car phone. I realize that the car phone back then, it operated different from today, but it's still the same principle and it's accomplishing the same thing: wireless communication in somebody's car. So this whole notion that we've got, and I know there are a lot of young people out there who think, wait a minute, you guys had car phones? Yeah, we did. I know there are a lot of people under the age of 30 or 35 that think that, everybody, nobody had a car phone or a cell phone or anything like that. Remember the bag phones? Anybody remember the bag phones of the late 80s, early 90s? Yep, those the big cellular phones, but they literally came. Look them up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google bag phone and you'll see pictures of these things. It's amazing that we were able to actually carry. These were not exactly, they were about the size of a lap. Well, they were bulkier and heavier, but they were almost the size of a laptop. Really, they were bag phones were big. And mostly it was big because the battery technology wasn't all that great, and the batteries had to be bigger and heavier. But yeah, the cell phones were not, and they needed, the communication end, the antenna had to be much bigger because there weren't as nearly as many towers around. The towers were not as plentiful. Towers were not as powerful. And they were not as fast. They didn't operate as fast as, what do we got, 4G and 5G? Looking at 5G now, possibly 6G. I know a few weeks ago I talked about them upping the standard of 5G and possibly 6G within the next 4 years. It's ridiculous what they're looking at to be able to do. But again, it's not new. We're just being able to speed up doing something that we've done for a very, very, very long time. That's all. Just making it more efficient. That's nothing new. Just improving on what we already have. Which comes to the point of politics. We did have, even then, the founders really didn't invent anything new when it came to a democratic republic. The world had seen democratic republics before. It's seen, different forms of democracy and different forms of republics. It had seen a democratic republic before. Now, it hadn't seen, the founders tried to improve upon the constitutional democratic republic, but it wasn't new. It wasn't something totally different. It was something that wasn't being done at that particular time on anywhere on the planet that we knew of, but it wasn't new. And you have all these wonderful people that come up with these, and they use these big words like existentialism, and we have this existential type of government now, and that's what they wanted, because every 100 years, everybody thinks that they're more enlightened than the previous 100 years. You hear it now, oh, but we're so enlightened now. Well, you know what? People in the Renaissance thought that they were enlightened. And the only reason why you're saying that they're not enlightened or we're not enlightened is because you believe that you're enlightened and that they were old-fashioned, stodgy, stuck in the mud, old-fashioned type of crap. Well, let me tell you something. In the Renaissance, they believed that people from 1016 were old-fashioned. One of the things that I found out was quite interesting is that the history of Paris, France. You just think of all the beautiful palaces that are in France, in and around Paris, especially. And what I learned when I was in Paris, all the different things that we take for granted today, actually started out as a royal palace. The Louvre, for crying. The Louvre is this huge museum in France. It was a palace. It was the headquarters for the French government at one point. And all these wonderful, monarchs came and, we're gonna build Fontainebleau, and we're gonna build this, and we're gonna build that one, and this one, and different kings decided to put their own take on certain ones. And they always try to say that they came up with something new, which is why they kept building different palaces. Well, they don't like the palace here. They don't want the palace over there. They don't want the palace. They want to put the palace in their favorite hunting grounds. And of course, in the process, they pretty much destroy their hunting grounds. But, they want to put the palace on the beach or here. It doesn't matter. It's not just France. It's all over the world where there have been. They put. You get the Mad King Ludwig, Bavarian. All the castles that he built and palaces. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You can call them castles, palaces, they're the same thing. What's a castle? Well, a castle is a palace. Well, what's a palace? A palace is a castle. Did you know that the Louvre started out as a castle? I didn't know that. The Louvre started out as a castle before it was transformed and converted into a palace. And the funny thing about it is a lot of Parisians and a lot of French people didn't know that either until one day, somehow, when they were doing some repairs and some remodeling work on the Louvre, and they dug down a certain part, they found what? The base of a castle. And they dug and researched and dug, and they found out that the Louvre is exactly where this one particular castle was. Before they built the Louvre, they turned the castle into the Louvre because somebody thought that they were improving something. Because castles were passé. Now we are moving to palaces. Right? Because everybody thinks that they're smarter than the people that came before them. People had castles. They were just brutish barbarians. No, this is what man strives to now, is to have palaces, not castles. And they all think that they're smarter than those who come before them. And people today are no different. We've got, every time we get a new president, we get presidents who think they're smarter than the previous presidents. The presidents today, they look back and Ronald Reagan was a bumpkin, man. He was like a country bumpkin. He was such an idiot. He was so stupid. Why? Because the president we have today is so intelligent and so smart. Let me tell you, the presidents of tomorrow are going to look at Barack Obama, what everybody, a lot of people think is who's the smartest president we've ever had, as being a total idiot. Oh, man, that guy was so stupid. We're smart. This is 2024. This is 2030. This is 2050. We're smart. They were just so stupid back then. They got old-fashioned and backwards. It's funny how man tries to create their own religion. You have this existential religion called humanism. But it constantly changes and evolves. Well, you see, true religion based on a true God or base point does not change. Judeo-Christianity does not change. Like it or not, Islam does not change. Buddhism doesn't change. Sikhism doesn't change. When there is a single point of reference that people say that this is perfection, it does not change. When it comes to humanism, because it's based on humanity and humankind itself, well, humans are always changing. So yes, humanism changes, which is why we think we're smarter today than the people that came before us. And archaeologists frequently remind us that that's not the case. First of all, we're not as smart as we like to think we are, and the people that came before us were not as dumb or ignorant as we thought that they were. Hell, we still can't figure out how they built certain structures in the ancient world. Because with all this modern technology that we have, we either still can't do it or can barely do it. So how they do it? I know we use all, hey, why don't we go back to the ancient ways? We say that as many as 10,000 or more people could have been working on the pyramids at any one time. Well, look, we got all those wonderful people working in our government. We got over 1 million people working for the federal government. And our government isn't all that great. So you would think, the more people that you toss at this, because this is what humanism says, hey, we don't know how they did it, so they must have just had an endless supply of humanity. Back when the world didn't even have 1 billion people, they just had an endless supply of humans to do all this labor. Well, we got 7.5 billion people on the planet today, so maybe if we just throw out, maybe if we get the governments around the world to employ 1 billion people, maybe all our governments would finally work for us, right? Just throw more humanity at it. That's what humanism teaches us, is all the answers lie in humanity. And humanity just has to, be willing to have enough people to work. So let's put 1 billion people in the world's governments. That should fix everything. And the reality is it doesn't fix a damn thing. It just makes things worse. Makes everything worse. Even when you think you know somebody or you know something, you find out, well, geez, you didn't know them after all. And I got a question for you cruisers. What do you think about your cruise boy now? Now that it looks like the insiders might be willing to embrace him. And I know some of you are going to say, well, this is because they finally realized that this is what the people want and that Cruz is right. No, that is, if you believe that, I got some pristine land, some beachfront property in New Mexico to sell you. And I know some people were saying beachfront property. All I can say is go back and watch the original Superman movies and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Someday California is going to have a giant earthquake and fall off into the ocean. Isn't that what the movie 2012 was about? Ted Cruz, CNN is reporting. Senior Senate Republicans are calling on Senator Ted Cruz to rebuild his strained relationships with his colleagues and apologize to Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, basically for calling him a liar on the Senate floor, before the party establishment considers consolidating behind his presidential bid. Now, this is because Cruz has increasingly called for Republicans to unify behind his candidacy in order to take down frontrunner Donald Trump. But in interviews Tuesday with CNN, it's clear Cruz's fellow GOP senators are not willing to do that, at least not just yet. Republican senators said that Cruz must return to Capitol Hill and make the case directly to his colleagues to help ease long-festering tensions. Oh, hey, Teddy boy. In other words, you've got to be willing to come back to Washington, D.C. and kiss our collective asses. That's what they're telling Ted. Now, here's the question. You cruisers, do you think Ted is going to do that in order to try to somehow beat Donald Trump? Because let me tell you something. If this gets to be a contested contest in Cleveland, contested contest in Cleveland, I'll try to say that 3 times fast. Cruz is not... Wow, another C. Cruz is not going to be the winner. He's not going to be victorious. He's not going to be the champion. Cruz is trying to come out on top, but he can't. How many more C words can I use here? I wasn't even trying. That's just unbelievable. Well, that's the American language for you. Is he? Well, look, I didn't name him Cruz. You know, he got that name from his daddy, who got it from his daddy. And I don't. When did people start really using last names, and who came up with them? I don't have. Well, I mean, I know that last names are supposed to. Well, you know, much like first names, last names really are supposed to mean something. But I don't know where they came. And oftentimes they came out of what a person did for a living, like shoemaker, obvious. Whoever was whatever his name was, Paul the shoemaker became Paul Shoemaker. I don't know. Well, I guess it really depends what the name meant back in the day. I don't know what cruise meant. It's not. Cruise doesn't mean taking a cruise. You know, ship cruise. It's not spelled the same. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe that's how you're supposed to spell cruise. But there are different ways of spelling cruise. You know, because Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz don't spell their name the same way. And why is Tom Cruise's name spelled exactly the same way as Ted Cruz, but Tom Cruise is supposedly not Latino? I don't know the ethnicity of Tom Cruise, to tell you the truth, but is Cruz not just a Latino name? I don't know. Just side note, sidebar. If somebody knows, fine, that's great. I'll be happy. I'm not really interested in learning about Tom Cruise, but I'm just curious. I've always thought Cruz was a Latino name. You know, Spaniard. Is Cruz Portuguese? Is he part Portuguese? I don't know. Because really, I think the Cruz isn't supposed to be De La Cruz or something like that. Isn't there somebody named De La Cruz? I think there is somebody named De La Cruz. And I think that's where. And I know a lot of times, when you go to the New World, you shortened your last name. Spaniards are famous for having long last names. Like De La Cruz, but think of, I don't know, I don't speak Spanish, but think of, some Spaniards' names, and a lot of them are quite long. But they do sound kind of cool, don't they? They do. Something about being a Spaniard. Not a Latino, but a Spaniard. Like Antonio Banderas. Antonio Banderas is really cool because he's not a Latino, he's Spanish. And Spaniards know how to be sexy. We'll be right back with more chit-chat. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese.
followed naturally by an order of wings, and another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Three 835-3224 is the number to call here on the Rod Eccles Show. Welcome back. Yes, indeed. Ba-dum-bum. You know, I was just sitting here trying to think of a Spanish name to tell you how the Spaniards used to name themselves, and I came up with one. I came with my own Spanish name. You have to call me El Rod Antonio Banderas de la Eccles. That's a Spaniard name. Just saying. Not making fun of them. I actually think they're kind of cool. Actually, I mean, what was it? The Princess Bride. What was his name? And Toya Monte, whatever. Mandy Patinkin's character. I mean, his name was like 10 words long. It was cool. And I'm here to kill you. It's what you gotta love the Spaniards. And the Spaniards have that type of. I've known a few Spaniards from Spain. Funny thing is it's really interesting. I have a friend who's Guatemalan. And he's a legal immigrant. Actually, he's I think he's set to become a citizen now, U.S. citizen. But he's a legal immigrant from Guatemala. He is a citizen. Yes, right. He became a citizen a couple years ago, and he's from Guatemala. And I always say Guatemalans are kind of, and he's the first person I actually come to know, and as Guatemalans are crazy. People are nut jobs, let me tell you. He's really fun. He's a funny guy. But he had a roommate, and the roommate was here to study. He studied, he was here for a year, 2 semesters at college, and he came from Spain. He was a Spaniard. And it was interesting to listen to them. They both spoke Spanish. But even though I didn't speak Spanish, I did notice that there were accentual differences in voice tonality. And there's the Spaniard Spanish, and then there's the New World Spanish, and it's about as clear as a Yankee speaking to a Southerner. The differences are about that clear, actually. And it was really kind of interesting because you don't think about other languages having accents, but I guess other languages do. See, we all have some sort of commonality. We're all different. That's the commonality. We're all different, and there's something interesting about each and every one of our backgrounds. And it just look, and I like Ant. I'm not going to lie. I like Ant. I don't think he's the world's greatest actor. I don't even think he's that great of an actor at all. Really, I just like Antonio Banderas. I think he's always been fun. The Mexico stories were fun. When he did the. Now I didn't watch all the, what was it, the Spy Kids movies. I know he was in that. I didn't watch all those. But he did the one with Sylvester Stallone, that's where I always say no more chit chat. That's where I get it from. Is from Antonio Banderas' character was talking to Sylvester Stallone. No more chit chat. He's just one of those fun actors, I guess. And he seems like he'd be genuinely a nice guy to have a beer with. I haven't heard anything bad personally about Antonio Banderas. I mean, maybe he's a total jerk. I don't know, but he just seems like he'd be fun to have a beer with. I don't know, the Spanish beer. What is Spaniards do? Do they drink? Are they big on wine? Or Spaniards aren't big on beer. I don't think they're big on beer. What is a Spaniard? No, I know somebody's going to say tequila. No, that's Mexican. That's not Spanish. I don't know it. I guess wine. Spaniards are big on, like French are big on wine, I guess, right? Yeah. So there we go. I don't follow what Spaniards drink really, but I've been to Madrid. Nice city. Other than that, I don't. Any case, got some news here. Paris attack survivor Jesse Hughes, who's a singer-songwriter, he endorses Donald Trump for president. Now, I guess he was in the band that was attacked by the terrorist. I don't, but he's endorsing Trump. Look, anybody who wants to get rid of terrorists and send them packing is probably going to have a lot of people's votes, and I wouldn't blame them at all. They could, that's how you get my vote, is telling me that you're really, really, really honestly have a plan to get rid of these terrorists. That would be that'd be the big thing for me. That's how you get my attention. But back to Cruz, De La Cruz. Republican senators said that Cruz must return to Capitol Hill and make the case directly to his colleagues to help ease long festering tensions. Now, that message basically is saying, hey, in order to smooth things over, Senator Cruz, with your fellow Senate Republicans who love Senator Mitch McConnell, you're going to have to apologize to the Mitch man, okay? You're going to have to go in there and kiss ass. And if you do that, well, Newsmax is putting out a story out there, Newsmax.com. Roger Stone is hinting at Jeb Bush will endorse Ted Cruz. Now, let me ask you, what are you cruisers going to do if Jeb Bush, the consummate insider, endorses Ted Cruz? And trust me, no, I don't believe Jeb is trying to broker and position himself for a Veep position, because he's not going to go backwards to what his daddy did. His daddy was a Veep for a reason, so he could become president. Hey, do you think Big Brother went ahead and became somebody's Veep? No, Big Brother said, hey, the Bush name is now synonymous with presidency, so we're going to be president. Jeb isn't going to be VP. A Veep to Ted? Of all people, that'd be like being the Veep to Rubio. There's no way in hell Jeb is going to do. Oh well, I could be wrong. I doubt it. But there you go. Is is Jeb going to be back? He may do a Romney. He may, look, Romney was defeated by McCain and then came back the next time that he could come back, and then he got it, and he was soundly defeated. So, Bush is pretty much like a Hillary Clinton right now. Hey, this was supposed to be mine. They told me it was going to be all mine. And, much like Clinton, it wasn't his. So if he wants it, maybe he's trying to smooth the way. Say, hey, Ted, remember that time when I endorsed you and I helped you? After I dropped out, I helped you. Come on, man. Now you got to back me. You got to return the favor. Got to return the favor. Look, I'm just pointing at all the scenarios because we know how politics works. We know how the inside the Beltway people work. And look, they're telling Ted right now, hey, Ted, everybody still likes Bush. The insiders and the establishment, we still like Bush. And we can get Bush to endorse you so you can get all those Bush supporters. Now, you may think that they're not a lot, but there's a lot of Bush supporters out there. I mean, Bush didn't stay in long enough for you to see them all over the country, but there's a lot of Bush support, a lot of people who like Bush. And you can get that Bush name behind you, that Bush name cred. But in order for you to get that Bush name cred, my man, you've got to come on over to Washington, D.C. You got to get on that Senate floor, and you got to kiss our collective asses. That's what they're effectively telling Cruz. Now, my question to you is, does Cruz want to be president so bad that he will compromise and do just that? And if he does that, will that mean that he's no better than those who he railed against? Just asking the question. You have to be careful when you're playing the Maverick. Because unlike the movie Maverick, if you're playing a Maverick, you better hold all the cards. And Cruz wasn't holding hardly any cards when he went Maverick. Now, you could say that was brave. I'll see. You can call it brave if you want. I'll just call it political suicide and stupidity, because there are other ways of being a maverick without doing what he did. In other words, if you have delusions of grandeur, you don't burn bridges until you have a new bridge built. And now we go with the bees. Burning bridges before you build a new bridge is a bad thing. Well, Okay, I won't be able to do that ever again. Those types of things are they just come to me sometimes, I guess. Just having some fun this morning, folks. It's Wednesday, hump day, trying to get over that hump. I know. And by the way, I alluded to something earlier today when I was talking to those wonderful Trump ladies, the Diamond and Silk. Ben Carson. Glenn Beck is out there slamming Ben Carson for endorsing the Trumpster. I don't know where Glenn Beck's head is. I mean, why would you... This is what he did. According to WND.com, they're calling him media giant. He is. Media giant Glenn Beck ripped into Ben Carson in a recent broadcast and on Facebook, saying that the former neurosurgeon was going to regret endorsing Donald Trump and that history was not going to remember him fondly. If you are signing your name and you are going in and throwing in with Donald Trump, you will destroy all of your credibility, said Beck. And I'm still trying to figure out why the hell do we have such why such ferocity against Donald Trump? I mean, you know, to use it to coin the tranny term. I mean, it's fierce opposition. Fierce. I mean, this is fierce, and not the good kind of fierce. Just saying, this fierce. There's some fierce that's good, and there's some fierce that's not good, and this fierce is not good. Not good. Not good. Why this? There is not this level of disdain for Hillary Rodham Clinton. Why do we have this level of disdain for Donald J. Trump? No, Donald Trump is not a perfect candidate. He's far from it. God, I can well admit that. He is far from the perfect candidate. He's definitely not the best this country has to offer. Evidently, a lot of people think he's the best that's in the running right now. So you gotta ask, why are all these people why are they hating on Donald Trump? Let me just put it simply. Why y'all hating on Donald Trump like this when y'all ain't even hating on Hillary? I mean, let's explore that. Let's be honest about it. I mean, you people on the right, it's almost as if there is no Hillary Clinton running. There is no Bernie Sanders. It's like either Donald Trump becomes president or nobody does, is what you're saying. But that's not the case. We're going to have a new president. So why do we have all of this time, money, and effort being spent on hating Donald Trump, but not Hillary Clinton? And I know some of you say, well, that's coming, Rod. That's coming. No, it's not coming because it never came against Barack Obama. I mean, I remember the first time around. It was all you people out there, well, not everybody, but the inside the Beltway people and all the insiders and the ruling class members, everybody hated on Mitt Romney because they wanted McCain. And then when it came time, nobody hated on Barack Obama. I'm just, using the colloquial terms. Everybody hated on Mitt Romney. And then they didn't hate on Barack Obama when the time came. And so to say that they were sorry, well, we're sorry, but they gave it to Mitt the next time around. And they hated on everybody else. But there was nobody in the race other than Mitt Romney, to tell you the truth. I mean, well, I guess they didn't like Santorum. But they gave it to Romney, and then Romney proceeded not to hate on Barack Obama again. And now we've got this visceral hate for Donald Trump, but there's no hate towards Hillary Clinton. I'm still trying to figure this all out. You people on the so-called right, you so-called moderates, you would burn the bridge while you were still on it. In other words, you are willing to give this election to Hillary Clinton instead of letting Donald Trump win it and taking the country back towards the right. The right side of the political. You would rather hand it over to an ultra-leftist who wants to pull the country even farther left than giving it to somebody who maybe you don't like, but at least for 4 years would be pulling the country back in the direction that is on the right side of the political aisle. Where does that kind of visceral hate come from? I mean, that's madness. That's insanity. Where does it come from that you are going to look at somebody else and say, you know what? You can get our blessing for running, but you got to kiss our asses first. Yeah, I get it. At this particular point, if I were Ted Cruz, I'd go out and buy myself some pointed metal covered cowboy boots. Yeah, he's from Texas. He can get them. They have they're pointed, but they got the metal tip. I go out and buy myself a nice, heavy pair of those. And then I'd go out to everybody in Congress who's saying that he needs to apologize, and Mitch McConnell say, you know what? I can see what you're talking about. Why don't you bend over? Turn around, bend over, and pull down your pants. And then I'd use those pointy boots and kick every single one of them up the you-know-what. There's no way in hell I would bend over to kiss any of their ass. I mean, look what they're doing to people like Ted, like Donald. And this is absolutely, people who on the Ted Cruz camp, they should fully understand what it's like to be on the receiving end of this type of hatred. But yet, they're out there doing this to Donald Trump, and they're not doing it to the true opponent, who are the Democrats, who is Hillary Clinton. I mean, look, I understand that you want the presidency, you want to be president, you've got to win the nomination. I understand that. But I think history has shown that the best way to achieve that is you should be down there, you should be tearing down Hillary Clinton, the Obama administration, and Bernie Sanders. I mean, you should be ripping into them and this economy daily. Where is you are allowing? Everybody talks about Donald Trump being able to control the media and control the talking, what everybody's talking about. No, Donald Trump doesn't control what everybody's talking about. It's just that you people are such political hacks that you really, this, folks, I want you to pay attention to this. When you do not hear people criticize other people of doing something, it's simply because they actually like what they're talking about or doing. And we have very little criticism of Hillary Clinton right now. Why? Is it possible that maybe they kind of sort of like some of the things or a lot of the things that Hillary Clinton is for? Is it possible that they like some of the things or a lot of the things that Barack Hussein Obama is for? They're not criticizing it. They're criticizing Donald Trump for saying that he's going to build a wall to help enforce our immigration laws. Donald Trump is being criticized for wanting to enforce our immigration laws. Ted Cruz is being criticized for wanting to enforce our immigration laws. From the right, not just the left. And they're allowing people to call Donald Trump a racist when he says, well, look, we've got to put a temporary halt to certain types of immigration in this country. And he's being called a racist. When Jimmy Carter and other presidents, especially Democratic presidents, did exactly the same thing that Donald Trump is talking about doing. But hell, even the Republicans are saying, no, Donald, you can't do that. That's bad, Donald. That's racist, Donald. That's not what this country's all about. Bull crap and bullpucky. That's exactly what we're all about, because the last president who did something like this, like Jimmy Carter, nobody called out Jimmy Carter and called him a racist. Nobody. So I ask you again, what is this, all this visceral towards Ted Cruz and Donald Trump? From the right. I can understand it if it's coming from the left. But why the hell is it coming from the right? That should speak volumes to you, folks. That should tell you everything you need to know. So all you people out there who are still for people like Rubio and Kasich and Bush and all that, understand, you should understand fully what this is all about now. This is not about your choice. This is not about your fellow Americans' choices. This is about the ruling class deciding that certain people have it and certain people don't. And certain people are going to get their blessing no matter what, and certain people are not going to get their blessing no matter what. And if you're not willing to bend down and kiss their collective asses, they're not going to give you their wonderful guidance and benefit and money and everything else and support. And I say it's time that we break that kind of garbage right now. So to a certain degree, I'm going to call out the people of Ohio for giving the win to Kasich. I'm not saying that you should have given it to Trump. I understand why you voted for Kasich, because you're very happy with the job that he's doing in Ohio. But it's not the same thing as being president. And you people in Ohio, you know that. I don't understand why. He can't even win in his home state. You got to win your home state. Why? Why? I think the last thing that the nation should be looking at is whether or not the state that the person comes from supports the person who's running for office or not. I think it means jack. Whether they do, I think the Rubio loss in Florida actually means jack about Rubio. Who cares? It's not about Florida. It's about Rubio as a whole for a national leader. Kasich wins Ohio. Who cares? Other than the delegates, big frickin' hairy deal. It's not about nationalizing Ohio politics. What are we going to say if Donald Trump wins New York? Well, he's from New York. Donald Trump wins New York. Are we going to say, well, hey, New York is bigger than Ohio, so shouldn't it count more? But nobody's going to spin it that way, no, especially the left and especially the establishment. If Donald Trump wins New York, they're not going to spin it that Donald Trump is, hey, Donald wins his home state. That's a good thing. They're taking this like this Ohio win is so good. You know what this is doing? All it's doing, and you people in Ohio, you fell for it, even though you were told exactly what was going to happen if you did this, and you still fell for it. Hey, maybe we do really deserve the type of government that, that we vote for. That's what we get. That's what we get.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals, Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. Once again, welcome back. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. I am your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized studio somewhere within the great grand state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. The call-in number is 603-835-3224. Again, that's 603-835-3224. Heading back to Newsmax. They're reporting Bill O'Reilly is asking the question, and I've asked this question. I'm glad to see somebody in the big lamestream media realm is asking questions like this. Finally, I've asked this question all the time. Ever notice that every time a Democrat runs, it doesn't matter who the previous sitting president is, even if it's a sitting Democratic president. Notice how the new person running is always saying that they're going to fix the problems. Country has so many problems. Problem. Well, this is no different. Hillary's out there saying that she can fix some of the problems that she was involved in and helped cause to begin with. I know a lot of people are forgetting that she is former Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton of the Barack Obama presidential administration. His first 4 years, his first term. So now Hillary's out there on the road, and she's out there talking about, everything is so bad, everything's so bleak, nothing is green. Nothing is green at all. Remember that? I mean, there were 2 movies that used that term green. History of the World Part 1, Mel Brooks. When he was I forget which King Louis, but it's King Louis, some number. Doing drugs. Everything's so green. He's looking out at, I think it's Louis the 14th or maybe it was Louis the 16th at Versailles. And looking at all the greenery out there. Everything's so green. And then you had the Fifth Element, right? Ruby Rod talking about everything's green. Good. Green is good. It's got to be green, man. Got to be green. Everything is not so green with Hillary Clinton. But wait. We've got the smartest president we've ever had, the highest IQ president we've ever had in the history of our nation. And Hillary says that everything's in the shitter. Excuse my French. Oh, wait a minute. How is that why is it that she's out there talking about, I know that this is broken and this is broken and this is broken, this is broken, this is broken, and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix this, and this. Well, Hillary, how the hell is that possible if the greatest, smartest, bestest president who ever existed in the existence of all presidents is ever that were and ever that will be is currently president now? Democratic presidential frontrunner Hillary Clinton painted a rather bleak picture of America in her Tuesday night victory speech. This is strange considering a Democrat has been in the Oval Office for more than 7 years. I agree, it's strange. It's very strange. Now, Clinton, of course, ticked off a list of things that she'd do as president in her speech. Bill O'Reilly noted, well, why hasn't it been done already? Right? What's the saying? I know, right? Basically, if I'm the opposition, I'm going, hey, you're saying that President Obama is the greatest president or whatever. You're running for an Obama third term, basically. And then you say everything needs to be fixed. So O'Reilly is asking, what is that all about? Yeah, look, I don't make the news. I just report it. I don't, O'Reilly's saying that she's a tough lady, though. She's as tough as Donald Trump. I don't think Hillary Clinton's all that tough at all. It's just look, whenever anybody gets tough on Hillary Clinton, she loses. Look what Obama did to her, in 07, 08. She didn't win that. Hillary is not all that tough. Look, she can't even really dispatch Bernie Sanders without cheating in some states. Seriously, how tough is that? She can't even beat an admitted socialist. That's not tough, O'Reilly. That's not tough at all. But of course, you can keep saying that she's tough. I suppose. I mean, if it makes you feel better, because you don't want to be construed as being a sexist or anything. Because Lord knows, you don't want to be construed as being being racist or anti-feminist or what have you. By the way, speaking of being racist, this came across my news feed today. This is from ABC News, and I know that there is I think I've talked about this before about online dating sites. There's a dating site niche for just about anything or anybody. If you're into strange sexual foreplay, I think there's dating sites for that. If you're into strange sexual afterplay, there's probably dating sites for that. If you're into goth whatever, there's dating sites for that. But and hey, you've got AfricanAmericanMeat.com, I think it's called something like that, and Latino Meat. You got Christian Mingle for Christians. You got the one for blacks and the one for Latinos. I think there's an Asian one, for meeting Asians, Asians meeting Asians, and blacks meeting blacks, and Latinos meeting Latinos, and all that kind of stuff. But all of a sudden, ABC News gets wind of a dating site that they don't like. And all of a sudden, it's racist. And that's wherewhitepeoplemeet.com. And the founders say that their dating site is not right. Why is it automatically, if it said whereblackpeoplemeet.com, that wouldn't be racist. If it said wherelatinopeoplemeet.com, it's not racist. If it says whereasianpeoplemeet.com, whereIndianpeoplemeet.com, where Native American people meet, any other ethnic diverse group could be substituted for white, and it'll be not racist. So now all of a sudden you say where white people meet, and all of a sudden people are going to say, well, that's racist, Rod. That's racist. Why? So a white person wants to date another white person. What's racist about that? That in and of itself is not racist. Who the hell cares? Why is it racist because certain people want to be with certain people? I mean, hell, there are all kinds of fetish sites. Why, hey, there are sites that cater, for black men. There are sites that cater to hook up black men with white women. That's not racist, huh? So black guys don't want to be with a black woman; they want to be with a white woman. So that's okay. Now you can have a dating site for that. But you can't have a dating site for a white man who wants a white woman. What? Why? Somebody explain that to me, please. Look, we live in an era where there is so much interaction among different ethnic backgrounds. This is the last time you could say anything was like this happened was just before the Tower of Babel, if you want to get biblical. Otherwise, this type of thing hasn't happened before. And so now we're coming across, especially in this country, people get the chance to meet all, and then they're finding themselves. Look, I know Asian people, Asian men that only want to date white women. Is that racist on the Asian part? Seriously, they have. And if you want, I don't know. And there's probably all kinds of, fetish. Hey, maybe if you're I don't. Are there? I hate to go looking this stuff up, but maybe I should just so I know. But look, even I don't know. Maybe there's a black lesbian who only wants to date white lesbians. I don't know. There might be a site for that. Probably is. But if you go on to just about, the regular sites like Match.com and those types of places, I assume when they're asking you all kinds of questions that they're going to ask about your racial preferences, because people have serious preferences when it comes to people who they want to meet and date. Some people put no preference. A lot of people put a preference. Well, maybe they want to give a somebody who's into women and guys. I don't know. What it was, a bisexual guy. They have sites for that kind of stuff. They have sites for everything. They even have sites for stuff that's in this country still illegal. But there are sites for it. It's called niche marketing. There's a niche for just about anything. By the way, New Hampshire is proposing a bill. And I don't know if this is. Some people are saying that this bill is targeting Muslims. You've got to be kidding me. New Hampshire is proposing a bill, and I think it's passed our House, and it looks like I think it's just passed the Senate. But the bill is criminalizing and making humans having sex with animals illegal. I don't know. But in any case, so we're, I got it. There's one thing about the millennial group, which is the millennial age group, which is, those roughly those people under the age of 30. It's very interesting that the statistics of this group, they tend to be more open about a lot of stuff. More than half of millennials who are dating right now say that they're dating outside of their own race. And more than 3/4 say that they would be open to dating somebody outside their own race. So why would you have a site that caters to only people of your own race? I don't know, because there are people out there that only want to date people in their own race. Oh, there's probably sites out there for people who want to date an animal. But New Hampshire's trying to make that illegal, by the way. Which, personally, I don't have a problem with that. That's really kind of wrong, disgusting. But there are people who do it. I don't know why. I guess they can't find a human that they can connect with. I suppose maybe they can just only. It's just a bad thought. But in any case, why is it? But whenever white people decide to say something and put white in front of it, all of a sudden it's racist. But if you replace white with any other ethnic background or descriptor, it's not racist. Well, I'm going to say if you can't put the word white in that descriptor area without it being racist, then you can't put any ethnic background in there without it being racist. That's my opinion, plain and simple. Yes, we're all human, and thus every human gets to, I don't know, why is it that, a lot of times Indians from India, especially if the parents are off the boat Indians or immigrants, and when people say off the boat, it's not derogatory. There is a hit TV comedy series on the air right now that says Fresh Off the Boat. So that's not derogatory. They're just immigrants. So you've got Indians from India, fresh off the boat from India, who expect their children to date and marry another Indian. And, this... And a lot of times you get Indians, there is a community, or not a community, there's a street, a neighborhood in Tingsboro, Massachusetts, just across the border from Nashua, New Hampshire. There is it's a street in Tingsboro, Mass. And I know this street because a few years ago, about going on four years ago now, I suppose. For a summer, I helped out a friend who was trying to run an ice cream truck business. I ran one of his trucks. One of his, the trucks. And one of the territories that I took, because, I got to choose, and I knew where some of the areas that possibly made more money, because I only went out on the hot evenings. I didn't go out, some of these guys were out there all day long. I didn't do that. I only went out certain times and certain days, and especially if it was warm. That's when I was trying to, hey, look, I wasn't stupid. I wasn't going to waste my time if I wasn't going to make any money. So I went out there, the best time I was going to make money and make him some money. But one of the neighborhoods that I traveled in, and believe it or not, it was actually a good neighborhood to be in. But what I noticed about the neighborhood was full of a bunch of Indians from India. And all their husbands, and a couple of the ladies, but most of it was the female, the lady was a housewife, and most of their husbands worked in the tech industry or medical research industry. So they were all smart people. They were research doctors or research technology technicians, and they lived in all these big houses. But it was almost the entire street, basically, was Indians from India. Now I remember asking one of them, for the entire summer they seemed to come. This one family used to come out of the house, and they used to always get the exact same thing. The mom, for whatever reason, she loved those double size we had these giant ice creams. They were round, but ice cream sandwiches. She always got that. The eldest son, he was probably about 11 or 12-ish, always got that rainbow pop. That the popsicle that looks like a rocket ship, the red, white, and blue. I think we call them rainbow pop. He always got that. The youngest son always got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sickle. And the daughter always got those Powder Puff Girl popsicles. That's what they always, every single time. I still remember it to this day. That's what they always got. Every single time I was there. I was in their neighborhood at least twice a week. There was hardly a time they didn't come out. Every single time, that's exactly what they got. And so one day I just asked her, why do you guys always get these? You want to try something new? And she said, no, we like things that we're familiar with. She says, that's why we moved in this neighborhood, because everybody around here is like us. Like, whoa, really? Okay, I don't know. Is that racist? She feels comfortable around other Indians? She wants her children to be raised around other Indians? Is that racist? Her kids go to public school, so they get to interact with regular people. But when they come home, she likes to have the neighborhood, be more like India, home, I guess. And the beautiful thing about America is that you have the ability to do that. So I can't look at that and say it's racist. Why? Because we have Chinatown, for crying out loud, and we have little Cubaville. Most major American cities has got a Chinatown. Why has it got a Chinatown? Because Asian people like to hang out with other Asian people. That's why. Why do we have little Havanas down in southern cities? Why? Because, Latinos, especially Cubans, like to hang out with other Latinos. Nothing wrong with that. So why is it that when it comes to a dating site, all of a sudden, oh my God, you put the word white in front of it, that's racist? Give me a freaking break. Why do we have such double standards here? Oh, it's amazing. And you can ask the same question about why do we have that in politics? Why do we allow such things in politics? We have double standards in politics. Barack Obama is able to get away with stuff. Why? Because he's the first black president. That's why he can, we don't want to oppose him because it'd be racist if we opposed him. Why is it a race? I always thought this was funny. Obamacare really was nothing more than what? Hillary care and Romney care. But because everybody was opposed to Obamacare, all of a sudden it was racist. Well, they opposed it when Hillary was for it, and they opposed it when Romney was for it. But now, and they weren't racist then. Well, I guess because Hillary was white. I'm sorry, I'm surprised they didn't say that, they were being sexist against Hillary. But yeah, no, they didn't like it when Hillary brought it forth, or when Romney brought it. But Romney still got it passed in Massachusetts, but they still didn't like. A lot of people didn't like it. They were against it, and when they said Romney Care was the precursor for Obamacare, it was a template, and that's why they didn't like Romney. Nobody said that they were racist against Romney or religious fanatics because he was a Mormon. No. Only when it came to Obama was it bad mojo, whatever. I just say people just want to be around the same kind of people that they're used to being around. There's nothing wrong with it if they want to do that. Not racist at all.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. franzblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be all right.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Three 835-3224. Welcome back, folks. That is the number to call should you wish to join me here live here on the Rod Eccles Show. Thanks for being here as we head into the home stretch. Fast. Can't believe we're in the last segment here already on the Rod Eccles Show. Apple, USA Today is reporting Apple says U.S. founders would be appalled by DOJ order. And for those of you who don't know what DOJ stands for, Department of Justice. San Francisco Dateline, or is it Dateline San Francisco? Apple charged Tuesday that a court order forcing the tech giant to assist the federal government in unlocking the iPhone of San Bernardino terrorist Saeed Farouk was based on non-existent authority asserted by the Justice Department, which is absolutely true. The Justice Department has no regulatory authority over people's property or possessions. And we've got people down on the border. Look, we're letting people in. It's amazing. There was a couple of stories here. Immigration officials. This is I want to talk about appalling. Now, Apple is absolutely correct that the founders would not be in any way for this nonsense about forcing them to turn over stuff that they invented, their stuff. But at the same time, while they're trying to get Apple to they're not trying to get Apple to unlock the San Bernardino phone. It's not about that, the dead terrorist phone. If you think it is, it's not, folks. Because the FBI, you're trying to tell me the FBI doesn't have the people, the resources to do what they want to do. No, they just want to be able to control it. See, if they have to do this with every phone, they don't control it. They just want to be able to get it. And again, this comes out of if you know what, folks, all I can say is I'm just going to get next week. I am going to talk about House of Cards. So you guys have got to watch this. If you haven't watched it and you've got Netflix, if you don't have Netflix, get Netflix. And no, I do not have any stock in Netflix. I wish I did buy stock in Netflix, because if I did, I'd be rich by now. But I didn't. So get Netflix and watch House of Cards. I'm going to talk about it next week, because there is so much stuff out there that's in the House of Cards that we're now it's unbelievably uncanny how this all comes together. And remember, this is not it's not like a regular TV series. They're not filming this on the fly. This was all written and filmed almost a year ago. Keep that when you watch House of Cards. Keep that in mind. This is not like a regular TV show where they're filming this week, and this week's episode that the episode that they're filming this week will air next week. No, or the week after. No. This was written and filmed months and months ago. So keep that in mind when you're watching it. Will what happens in House of Cards predict what happens in reality to some degree? Well, I hope not, because I'm not gonna give it away. So you guys are gonna have to watch it. Washington Times is reporting, in conjunction with this DOJ order and the FBI order to order Apple to create software to unlock the locked phone of and they're using it. Well, it's a terrorist. We gotta get in there and get the information from this terrorist. That everything that he had. We don't know who else he's talking to or talked to or what. But immigration officials shielded accused San Bernardino conspirator from ICE agents. Look, we have a guy who knows about the terrorist, the dead terrorist. We got a guy who's connected with him, and our own government isn't communicating this, protecting him from other agencies who might be able to utilize this information and connect the dots. But no, you cannot hold an immigrant to the same standards. Oh, because he's an immigrant. He's not a citizen. But on the other hand, but let's give these immigrants all the accolades and rights of a citizen. While we're trouncing on the citizens and beating them over the heads and taking away their rights left and right, let's give and extend all these wonderful rights to these immigrants who do not have these same rights in this country. But we're going to extend it to them anyway and give them the benefit of the doubt. But we're not going to give the rest of American citizens the benefit of the doubt. No, we want to keep track of them all day, 24/7, 365. That's the best way to go in order. If we're going to protect the American people, we have to protect the American people from the American people. Because hey, it's all domestic terrorist, right? It isn't all about the external terrorists, the foreign terrorist threat. It's about the internal terrorist threat and the internal terrorist. Because everybody knows that the terrorist from San Bernardino, he wasn't an exterior threat. He was here even working for a government, state, I think it was state government in California. So he became even though he wasn't a citizen, it was still interior or domestic terrorism, if you're going to call it terrorism, because we call it just workplace violence. But if it's terrorism because he lived here and worked for the government, oh, well, that's domestic terrorism. So we're not going to be able to get much information off of somebody who's an external terrorist or potential external terrorist, because most terrorists that are very dangerous to the American people are the American people themselves and other domestic terrorists. That's what they're telling us. Really? Immigration officials shielded accused San Bernardino conspirator from ICE agents. Washington Times. Federal immigration officers refused to let an armed team of agents into their office to detain the accused conspirator in December San Bernardino terrorist attack. Government officials acknowledged yesterday exposing an embarrassing lack of communication within the department. How the hell do you have one team of federal agents prevent another team of federal agents from doing their job? And then you want to tell me, oh, we've got to address the embarrassing lack of communication within the department. Isn't that the whole reason that George W. Bush put all of those different aspects together under one department so they would communicate with? Are you telling me that even though we put them under this all-powerful Department of Homeland Security, they're still not communicating with each other? With each other? Really? So that was an exercise in futility? Folks, I wish I made this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. And it's not one department refusing to communicate with another department. It's departments within the same department that aren't communicating with each other. And then they're out there saying, oh, it's an embarrassing lack of communication within the department. Oh, shame on it. Bad. Our bad. And yet they're still not talking to the guy. But they're still demanding that Apple violate the rest of our rights by giving them the power to unlock any damn phone they want at any time. But the person who could probably give them even more information and who could probably, decipher some of the information that they're not going to understand once they get into the phone, they don't even want to talk to. How is that supposed to be protecting us? Well, folks, it's not. It's not about our safety. I don't know how many times I got to tell you that. It's not about our safety. It's about their control. And Donald Trump, believe it or not, and Ted Cruz are direct threats to that control. Now, frankly, I don't think Donald Trump is going to get rid of half the crap that he claims that he thinks would be, a good idea to get rid of. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it. Believe it or not, I think Ted Cruz would probably bring us back closer to more of a true constitutional government than Donald Trump. But, on the other hand, I think Donald Trump would be a stronger domestic president and a stronger foreign president on the security of this country and its economy than Ted Cruz. I think Donald Trump would do a far better job on the economy than Ted. I think Donald would probably do a far better job of rebuilding the military than Ted. I think Ted would do a far better job of nominating Supreme Court justices than Donald. I think Ted will do a far better job of making sure things are more constitutional in this country than Donald. So, they both have their strengths. They both have their weaknesses. Now, you got to figure out which one is going to be better for you. Neither one of them, I think, would capitulate to the inside the beltway. I don't think either one of them can be bought off. Tell you the truth. I don't think either one of them can be bought off. And I don't think I think they're trying to tempt Ted right now. I don't think Ted's going to fall for it. You know, woe to the guy who does fall for that kind of crap. Those who ran the Legal Immigration Benefits Office in San Bernardino refused to let a team of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents enter to detain and hold Enrique Marquez so the FBI can interview him. Why would people who run immigrants shouldn't? Why do immigrants have a? Why do we have an office for immigration benefits? What benefits? You don't get any benefits. Why are we paying for immigrant benefits? No, you're supposed to come here and want to contribute, not take from me. And why would these lowlifes ever have the ability to keep ICE agents from detaining somebody? That is their job. Their job is to vet immigrants, make sure that they're here legally. Why? How is it that you can? Every single one of those people in the Immigration Benefits Office who refuse to let the ICE agents near this guy should be jailed. Well, Rod, didn't you just say that you're innocent? No. That's for crime. Well, in a way, this is a crime, but not for obstruction of justice. You get to go to jail. It's like contempt of court, obstruction of justice, and then they put you on trial. You should be, arrested and then put on trial for this kind of crap. Not get away with it. I have no idea where all this stuff comes from and why people think that this is. I don't know. Sometimes I just look. I sit here in the Freedom Throne, and I just sort of slump back, and I think, why even bother? Not that I'm giving up, and I'm definitely not saying that you should give up. But sometimes I just sit back and just wonder, why am I even bothering? Because nobody's paying attention. And then I see, pictures on TV of a Donald Trump rally or Cruz really giving it to the left. And I think, yeah, people are paying attention. So Apple says that U.S. founders would be appalled by DOJ order. And I think Ted Cruz would agree. According to the government, short of kidnapping or breaking an express law, the courts can order private parties to do virtually anything the Justice Department and the FBI can dream up, Apple's lawyers argued in new court documents. The founders would be appalled. Now, the company is rejecting and has rejected the government's previous contention characterizing the court order as modest and relating to a single phone. It's not. You cannot, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times. That's just disgusting. Should not be allowed. Apple's right. The founders would be appalled. They'd be appalled. They're turning over in their they're spinning in their graves right now. Do you ever wonder what it must look like, somebody spinning in their grave? Oh, I'm sure somebody's got a video of it. As it turns out, the reason why the ICE agents were where they were at, Mr. Marquez didn't show for a meeting at the immigration office, but Mr. Johnson said the lack of communication between U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services The Benefits Branch and Homeland Security Investigations, which is an enforcement division within the Homeland Security Department, was stunning. I don't. So somebody couldn't just pick up the phone and get it all straightened out in like 5 or 10 minutes? I'm like, you can't come in here. This is not your department. This ain't your department. What y'all doing here? Y'all gotta get out. You gotta get out now. Because this ain't your department. This is my department. And in my department, I am the law. Not you, me. Now, I don't go over into your department telling you how to do things over there. So you ain't coming into my house and telling me how to do things over here. Well, frankly, yeah, but that's basically what happens. Whenever you go into a government building, that's basically what happens. Because, all those wonderful government employees, they're not there to serve you. They're not there to protect you. They're there, and if you get in their case, if you get up all in their, what? They are going to flip out on you. I mean, if they're not treating you the way that you think that you should be treated as a customer and an employer, and you challenge them, oh man, they're gonna think what you getting all my grill for? You gonna get my grill? I'm gonna get back in your grill. You better not get my grill. I'll tell you what, you're gonna be sorry you getting my grill, man. You better sit the hell down right now. I've run into that kind of stuff, actually. Have you ever gone somewhere, you're the only, not the usual case, but you're the only one in there. Only one in there. And there's like 50 people behind the counter. Only one in there. You're the only quote-unquote customer. And you stand at that desk or that window. And half dozen of them look up at you. Some of you even smile. Hi. 10 minutes later, oh, we'll be right with you. Wait a minute. There's like 50 of you back there running around like little ants doing nothing. And then finally when somebody does come up to help you, it isn't one of the 50 sitting at the desk in front of you. Somebody comes from the back room or back office. Hi, can I help you? I often ask, I look at them, where you come from and how come they couldn't do that? Oh, we're just so busy here. They're just so busy. Isn't their job to be helping we the people? I mean, sir, I can help you. Come on. And you wonder why people in one department within the same department don't want to talk to people of another department within that same department. You get what I'm saying? I find it hilarious that we can walk into it, and this is federal or state. Well, it's not so much when I was in New York, that was the case too. State Department or state, government offices, but not. New Hampshire's a little bit better. New Hampshire is a lot more efficient in dealing with people, at least in my experience. You go to the DMV, the whole notion you got to take a day off to go to the DMV, that's probably true in a lot of states, but not New Hampshire. New Hampshire is, as long as you've got, things are pretty cut and dry, you can be in and out. Even having your picture, the lines aren't very long usually. You can be in and out in less, pictured and having all that kind of stuff in less than, 20 minutes. I've done it numerous times. It's not difficult. You don't need, what's the excuse? You don't, hey, boss, I got to take the day off because I got to go to the DMV. And I know when I first moved to New Hampshire and I tell my boss that, he's like, don't think it's going to take you that long. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I know how long it took in New York. Yeah, it is. I'm like, you know how it is. And he goes, yeah, it's not going to take you that long. I said, he says, I'll see you back here in a couple hours. I'm like, okay, I'll call you if I don't get out of there. I walk into the New Hampshire DMV. There was one person at the counter and 3 agents ready to handle me. I'm looking around thinking, Oh, boy. This is going to be fast, isn't it? And you know what? The funny thing is, they were communicating with each other because the person who was at the counter was having an issue, and he was talking back and forth to another person with a different department within the DMV. And they got it straightened out with this guy in 10 minutes. But you got these guys, and that's just for driver's license. But you got these guys who are something far more important, out even after a terrorist attack, and they know who the terrorist is because he's dead. They shot him dead. And they know who all his co-conspirators possibly are, but yet they're not communicating enough to let one group within their department do their job. Hello? Anybody out there? Anybody home? You know, it's like, hello, McFly! Doesn't take much to communicate. And even when you run into a snag, it doesn't take much to get it instantly straightened out. You know, it's, hey, we need to talk to this guy. This guy is supposed to show up. He didn't. He's here. We know he's here. We need to get him so we can talk to him. You ain't coming into my house. This is my house. You ain't coming to my house demanding I turn over somebody. That's what we got instead. But, you know, hey, the DOJ is still going to demand that Apple help. They demand that Apple help them, the DOJ and the federal government, defy and break all of our constitutional rights to privacy. Yeah, hey, because government didn't invent it, government is still trying to say they own it. Basically. Government didn't invent cell phones. Government didn't invent Appleware or anything Apple. But hey, if it's being used out for public and the public good, the government should be able to own it and tell you exactly what to do with it. That's what they often try to do, folks. I'm telling you that this is not pretty stuff. Not by a long shot. But in any case, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe maybe with a different president, things will get better. Well, unless of course we elect Hillary Clinton, and things won't get better. They will get worse, far worse. But I don't think it'd be worse if we had Donald or Ted as president for at least for a term. I think each of them have their strong points and their weak points, and one would be stronger in one particular area than the other, and the other would be stronger in one particular area than the former. So it is what it is, folks. In any case, that sound means that we are out of time for this hump day. We'll be back here tomorrow for Thursday's edition. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks for listening to the Rod Eccles Show. I am your lovable host, L. Rod. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful day. I'm out.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.